Shalom Chaverim, welcome back to our discussion of Rabbi Nachman's Sichos HaRan. Today we're going to look at Sicha number 27, and it's going to continue to develop some of the themes that we've looked at in previous Sichos. Specifically, it's going to give us some really important advice about how we should proceed when we're trying to strengthen our avodas Hashem. So let's jump right in and see what Rabbeinu has to say to us today. Says Rabbi Nachman, you must have great enthusiasm in serving God. Be eager to do as much as possible every hour and every day. We've heard this theme before, that we need to serve Hashem with joy and with enthusiasm. Continues Rabbeinu, deeds are the main thing. Study much, keep many mitzvot, spend much time praying and pouring out your heart before God. You must do as much as possible in every way. So we learned in the last Sicha, Sicha 26, about the importance of Torah study, and we've learned about that in other Sichos as well. And here he's saying that the deeds are the main thing. Keeping mitzvos, studying Torah, and spending time praying and pouring out your heart before God. And we've talked in previous Sichos about what prayer should look like, and specifically his bodidus. Continues Der Heilige Rebbe, even so, do not feel overwhelmed. You may find many kinds of devotions in the sacred literature and ask, when will I be able to fulfill even one of these devotions? How can I ever hope to keep them all? Do not let this frustrate you. Right? Let's chazer a little bit. What is the main idea, the main chiddush in Breslov Chasidus versus other ways of serving Hashem? It's this notion that everything should be done with simplicity and great joy, right? So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're trying to do everything at once, and it's causing you stress, and it's robbing you of your simcha, of your joy, or it's overcomplicating your life and robbing you of simplicity, then you're doing it wrong. And so if you find yourself asking this question, how am I ever going to be able to do all this? Says Rabbi Nachman, don't let this frustrate you. He continues, go slowly, step by step. Do not rush and try to grasp everything at once. If you are over hasty and try to grasp everything at once, you can become totally confused. Chas v'shalom. When a house burns down, people often rescue the most worthless items. You can do the same in your confusion. What an amazing mushal, right? He's talking about when there's a house fire, and you're in your haste, you're trying to rescue everything. You're trying to, save the most important things, but you're moving so quickly that you kind of miss the point, and maybe you grab things that don't matter at all in your confusion, right? So he says you can do the same thing in your avodas Hashem. You can be in such a rush that you grab all the wrong things and you leave behind the most important things, right? Which are, again, simplicity, joy, pouring out your heart to Hashem. Continues Rabbeinu, proceed slowly, one step at a time. If it happens that one cannot do anything, what can he do? A person who is under duress is exempted by God. So he's saying, take one step at a time. And if you find yourself stuck, if you find that you just really can't do the next thing, don't worry. Because in Bava Kama, Chazal teach us that if you're under duress, you're exempt. You don't have to do anything further. So you just do as much as you can comfortably. He says, even though there are many things you cannot do, you should still yearn to fulfill them. The longing itself is a great thing, for God desires the heart, right? And we've talked about this concept before as well, that if you find that you're struggling with a particular devotion, what should you do with that? Well, the answer is that you should bring that into your hisbodedus. You should bring that into your daily conversation with Ribbono Shel Olam. You should explain to Hashem that you're longing to fulfill this particular mitzvah or to do this particular devotion, but for whatever reason, you're having difficulty or you're experiencing some sort of blockage. And that yearning, that pouring out your heart is really what's most precious to Hashem. It's almost as precious or maybe even more precious than the actual fulfillment of that particular mitzvah. Finally, Rebbe Nachman says, the Rebbe had many discussions, or Reb Nassim concludes, the Rebbe had many discussions regarding this, all containing good advice about training oneself to serve God. It cannot all be recorded, but if you are wise and have the desire, you can begin to understand from what we have written. So he's saying, this is a common theme, that we're supposed to take things slow, and we're supposed to focus on simplicity, and we're supposed to do as much as we can do, but move one step at a time. And don't let anything that we're doing get in the way of simplicity, and don't let anything we're doing get in the way of our joy. This is mamish foundational Breslov thinking here in Sicha number 27. And in the coming Sichos, B'siyata D'Shmaya, we're going to take a look at exactly how we can incorporate Torah study, and particularly the study of the Code of Jewish Law, into our daily lives, so that it becomes sort of a part of us, and it becomes second nature for us. So we're not going to be like that person in the house fire, grabbing all of the worthless items and leaving behind the most important things. We're going to be moving forward one step at a time, with simcha, with peshuta, and we're going to make sure that we grab onto all of the right things with the help of heaven. All right, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.